Thank you, Mr. Mondell, and it's a pleasure to serve under your chairship. I also congratulate the Honourable Member for Stockport for securing this hugely important debate. The current delays in the asylum system are appalling. There are currently 66,000 people waiting an initial decision from the Home Office on their asylum claim, the highest number for over a decade. 3/4 have been waiting for more than 6 months, with many waiting in a state of severe anxiety for as long as 3 years or more. And in the case of my constituency of Leicester East, there are cases that I'm dealing with of 7 and 8 years waiting their decision. That's why we must fully support the Lift the Ban campaign, which calls on the government to overturn the ban on people seeking asylum being unable to work. How does the government expect people to survive for months on years without earning a living? Under this government, the number of children waiting an initial decision for more than a year has increased more than 12-fold, from 563 children in 2010 to 6,887 in 2020. This is an appalling record that robs children and young people who have already endured unimaginable suffering of their childhood. The size of the backlog is not a result of an increasing number of asylum applications, but rather the inability of the Home Office to keep pace with initial decisions. This is a crisis of the government's own making and stems from the utter disregard towards those seeking safety. I fear that this crisis will only get worse as the government's immigration plans lacks basic humanity and represents the latest step in their pernicious demonisation of migrants and asylum seekers. They have rightly been criticised by human rights organisations such as the United Nations High Commission on Refugees and the British Red Cross. Yesterday, as we've heard, the government confirmed it will press ahead with the Nationality and Borders Bill, which is anti-refugee to its core. The bill will enable the UK government to block visas for overseas visitors if the Home Secretary believes their country of origin is refusing to cooperate in taking back rejected asylum seekers or offenders. Asylum seekers will be able to be removed from the UK while their asylum claim or appeal is pending, which opens the door to offshore asylum processing, and family union rights will be further curtailed as well. Analysis of the Home Office data by the Refugee Council found that 9,000 people who would be accepted as refugees under the current rules may no longer be given safety in the UK due to their method of arrival under the reforms. Time and time again, this government has chosen to turn its back on those seeking protection from climate catastrophe, war, torture, persecution, and other heinous acts. This bill will compound the misery of people fleeing intolerable conditions. The government must end the delays in the asylum system, as well as the abhorrent practice of indefinite detention, which has led to the inhumane treatment in centres like Yarswood and Napier Barracks. Ultimately, the government must repeal the 2014 Immigration Act, end the destructive demonisation of undocumented people, migrants and asylum seekers, address the backlog of those seeking asylum, and abandon the deeply damaging Nationality and Borders Bill. Thank you, Mr. Mondell.